One of the things that gets asked a lot is what exactly is a scientist? Why do we need them? Why do we exist? The Science Council defines a scientist as someone who systematically gathers and uses research and evidence to make hypotheses and test them, to gain and share understanding and knowledge. There's been a lot of examples of scientists dragged out in front of the media over the recent years to try and explain changes in world health and events. But if I want to break it down, the scientist's job is not to sell you medicine. A scientist's job is to understand and try and explain why the medicine works and work out whether it really is good for you. Popular media has an image of us as people who walk around in lab coats all day and talk a lot of scientific jargon that the majority of the world can't understand. But there are all types of scientists that come in different sizes, shapes and colours, and one of my favourite advertising schemes from the Royal Society of Chemistry from quite a few years ago now was when they went on the offensive to say, no, not all chemists wear white coats. There's all sorts of careers in science that involve you wearing all sorts of different clothing and going to all sorts of different places in the world. This really is an industry that can take you anywhere. What unites us all is our curiosity. And if, like me, you are interested in chemistry and want to take your studies further, then I've got some unfortunate news for you. A lot of people have fond memories from chemistry classes at schools and colleges from lighting up Bunsen burners to heat up reaction vessels, but at least in the United Kingdom at university level chemistry courses, it's actually very rare to see a Bunsen burner. There's too many flammable hazardous chemicals and we really don't want to set each other on fire. That's actually one of the main sources of disappointments I see in undergraduates' faces when I explain that to them at the start of their studies. One thing that you might spend a lot of time doing, and a lot of scientists do, is pipetting. You'll see a lot of stock footage of us just moving one vial of liquid from one test tube to another and trying to glean meaning from the relentless movement of all these chemicals. The one thing that probably unites all of us and the rest of the world is we spend far too long staring at our computer screens, trying to make sense of what's really going on in the world around us. Because these are not jobs as scientists. Scientist isn't a profession. There's actually very few people who just walk around saying, I am a scientist. What they are people who use science, and it's a gateway to almost every other career imaginable where you're solving problems. And if that's what you see yourself when you grow up, if you want to go out into the world and be a problem solver, training as a scientist is one of the best ways to start.